Hello, hello, hello everyone. It's Lori Mueller with StampinDreams.com coming to you on Tuesday. And I am so excited to share a really cute project. Valentine's is only 33 days away, 33 I think. So it's now the time to create for all of your loved ones, any coworkers, if you're a teacher, maybe for your students or coworkers as well. But now's the time to start thinking about it and getting your craft stash all put together and getting all of those creations made so that they're ready to hand out on Valentine's Day. Hello, hello everyone, so good to see you. So I'm kind of a little frazzled because it's been a couple weeks since I've been crafting with you, and I just was running around like crazy because I have a short window of time to get prepared, and I think I got everything, but we'll see. so bear with me, but it is the best time of the year right now. If you haven't heard, Stampin' Up has an amazing season. I call it a season because Sale-a-bration has its own season. It goes January and February. And it's kind of like, and I call it a season because there's winter season, there's spring, there's summer, there's fall. So Stampin' Up has a season called Sale-a-bration. And what that means is that with every $50 purchase, you can choose a free item. But there's also a level 2 that with a $100 purchase, you can choose a level 2 item for free out of the Sale-a-bration catalog. And it's amazing. There's a mix of stamp sets and papers and bundles that have paper and punches, or it's different every year. Now the difference for Sale-a-bration this year compared to the last handful of years is that we are only offering it January and February this year, because in the past years March was also part of that season, Sale-a-bration. It was January, February, March, and the reason that we have cut it back to 2 months, because it was that way years ago when I started, is because March includes the Chinese holiday. And so when that was in the middle of any new offerings that we would present during Sale-a-bration, it had an impact on delivery. And sometimes if there was a really super popular item, which there always is, it was difficult to get in more stock in a timely manner. So we've decided to cut it back to just January and February, and then there's going to be another Sale-a-bration later this year. So we're going to have 2 seasons of Sale-a-bration. Super exciting! Oh! So anyway, if you haven't gotten a catalog from me, either the mini spring occasions catalog, it's the January through June mini catalog, and a copy of the Sale-a-bration catalog, let me know and I can pop one in the mail for you, because you don't want to miss this. There are so many super cute sets in the catalog. There's bundles that are amazing, and the bundles can be a mix of stamps and dies or stamps and punches, and just makes our crafting go so much faster. And plus there's components in those dies especially that really help a crafter think outside the box. So if you're new to stamping, don't worry, this is for any level of stamping, but if you've been stamping a lot, your mind tends to think outside the box and look at some of those dies in a whole different realm than what they were intended for, such as coordinating with an image with the coordinating stamp set. But anyway, I am super excited to share a little treat pouch. I'm calling it a treat pouch. I have these little mini KitKat bars that, oh my gosh, when I open the bag, oh, they smell so good. There's some that are chocolate, white chocolate, and the strawberry. And the strawberry is what I could really smell. And oh my gosh, it took everything in me, because I was designing this project around midnight last night. So it took everything in me not to have one of those, because I've got this rule now that I don't eat after, you know, a certain hour in the evening, because I was having a really bad habit of doing that while crafting, because they kind of go hand in hand, right? You know, you're thinking, you munch and you craft, and then you think and you munch and you craft, and it's like, ugh, it was just a round circle that I wasn't getting out of. So anyway, I am anxious to have one after I get done stamping with you today. So why don't we get started and let's have some fun. All right, so here's that Sale-a-bration catalog that I was telling you about, and I can actually open the pages now for you. I mean, look at the beautiful papers. And one way that you will discover if you are eligible for a level 1 or a level 2 is based on this little medallion right here with the product. So if it says free with a $50 purchase, you can choose one of those for free. If it says, let's see, there's papers, there's stamps, more stamps. I know there's one that has the $100 right here. So this one is free with a $100 purchase. Now, don't worry that if you have a $100 order, you don't have to choose just this stamp set. You can actually mix and match. You can get this stamp set and these papers. Let's say you have a $200 order. You can get 2 of the level 2s that are available at $100. See, here's a stamp set and papers. Oh, so cute. Or you can get all 4 $50 items. So you can mix and match however it works out evenly and to your taste and your desires. So never fear. Now, the other thing too, if you would like to get even more items for free and you wish to have a party, we could do a Facebook party, we can do a virtual party with your guests, we can do an in-person if that's allowed in your area, because you can work up to earning this stamp set, and it coordinates with the number of the punches that we have, the ovals, the hearts, and the postage one. You just need a party of $300 to earn it for free. But the best thing is all of your guests will also be able to earn Sale-a-bration items. So if they support your party and order $100, they can choose, you know, the mix and match of, you know, 2 $50 items or 1 level 2 item. So it's a win-win for both you and your guests, because with your $300 party, you will also earn 12% in Stampin' rewards. And that means more free product for you. So it is a great season of the year with Sale-a-bration. So let me know if you want me to help you get that put together and get it all set up. We'll set a date. We just have to have the party completed before February, the end of February. So this is today's stamp set and coordinating punch that I am going to work with today. It's the Hearts and Kisses stamp set, and it does have a coordinating punch that is a set of lips and a heart. So super cute. And of course they coordinate with 2 of the images in this stamp set. But here's a couple of samples that introduce stamping in an introductory brand new stamper, and then graduates to more skilled stampers, so that you could have your advanced and then your avid stamper, where you add a whole bunch of other embellishments and decorative dies and all that other good stuff. So you kind of go from level 1 to level 3 as your stamping skills allow you to. So all right, so here again is our stamp set, and I really love this cursive font. It's a more decorative cursive font, but I just really think it kind of tones in with the images that are here with a set of lips, a lipstick, you know, a water wash type background. But it is a rubber background or a rubber stamp, and then it does have the coordinating punch, and it's one of the bigger sizes, so that's what we are going to use today. Now I'm going to share with you 2 projects that I have designed that hold these super cute Hershey's KitKat bars, and I'm using also the brand new ribbons that is part of a suite in there. It's called the metallic ribbon. It's in the color of Blushing Bride, and it is a 2-tone ribbon that gives you lots of sparkle on one side, and the edges are a Rococo rose edging. It's very, very soft, and you can feel texture on this side to give you a little bit of blink, but it's not stiff or anything that would keep you from tying a knot or a bow, you know, like some stiff ribbons. And then on the back, it is a pure Blushing Bride, a solid Blushing Bride. See that glimmer in there? It's so, so pretty. So with that ribbon, on this one in particular, I used Blushing Bride cardstock, and I'm also using the paper that is part of the a suite of products available on page 11 in our mini the stamp set bundle with this particular suite. It's the Always in My Heart suite, or the Elegant Love, and we're going to use the Love You Always foil sheets, and they come in the colors of Blushing Bride, Rococo Rose, and Sahara Sand. And then I'm also bringing in some black and white. I love, love, love black and white patterns when it comes to Valentine's Day. I don't know, it just really adds to that elegance, or you can tone it down and make it super, super cute and fun. Now, the fun thing about this paper are there florals on one side that you can bring in all sorts of coloring elements, our watercolor pencils, you can do our water brushes, you can do some sponging, and then there's patterns on the reverse side. And so that's what I'm working with today, are the patterns that are on the reverse of the florals. Now I tied it with the colors of the foils. So on this one, I used the Blushing Bride foil with 2 of the patterns of that paper with Blushing Bride cardstock, and then the Rococo lips, and I heat emboss them. I clear emboss them because lipstick, you know, has a lot of sheen to it, so I had to have some gloss on my lips right here. And then with the 2-tone coloring, I also embossed the Sealed with a Kiss. I used Memento Black on the smaller words, and then Rococo Rose on the word kiss. And then I did hand fussy cut that out and popped up both of these onto this front cover. Now this ribbon, I decided to go with more solid and use more of the color of the Blushing Bride because I was bringing in the Rococo Rose on here. Now on this one, I decided to use Rococo Rose cardstock, but I used Blushing Bride for my glossy lips, and then Rococo Rose for the little XOXO. But I decided to use more of the glam and the glitz of the ribbon on this side, because you can see the Rococo Rose, how it coordinates with that cardstock. It really pulls out that border edging, and yeah, so super cute. So how this works is your ribbon is your little holder, and then inside you have these super cute KitKat bars. And in the bag there were these 3 designs, and so the strawberries, oh, I cannot wait. I'm gonna be eating one of these as soon as I get done with this. But you have your traditional chocolate, and then you have your white chocolate and strawberry. And they just fit in here like this, and you tuck in your flap under the ribbon. Oop, not under the cardstock, but under the ribbon, like that. Just like that. Super cute, right? Love, love, love. And then this is the same way. It just tucks under that ribbon. So I've decided I was focusing on the foil paper. So I have a Blushing Bride. I have a Rococo Rose. So our third one that I'm going to, this one I'm actually going to create with you, is going to be the Sahara Sand. Now I do have a pattern that I'm using the same patterns of the Designer Series paper. And this is what the floral side looks like on the back. But that is the standard right there. So this one I used the Blushing Bride as the background to go with the Blushing Bride. This one I decided to use the Sahara Sand foil with the Rococo Rose cardstock because I felt like it really made it pop better. And then the Sahara Sand, we are going to use the Rococo Rose foil because I feel that these two will very complement and make this really pop. So let's get started. So our first piece, all of our pieces that we have here are the Sahara Sand, which measures 7.5 by 4. And then we have our pieces of foil that measure 2.5 by 2. And then we have this one that fits 2.5 by 1 1/8. And then these two pieces are just 1/8 of an inch smaller. So they measure 2 3/8 by 1 7/8. And then this one again is 2 3/8 by 1 inch. And then you're going to need some scrap for the lips and for the sentiment. Okay, and I think yep, there we go. So those are the pieces, and then we're going to use our ribbon, and we'll decide which side we're going to use later when we get to that point. Now, the first part that we want to do, what we can actually, let's start working on our box. We'll do that. So our little treat pouch box. This is my scrap paper. I just used, some old flyers that I had made, and I decided to write down my measurements just to make certain I have it. But again, it measures 7.5 by 4. I have my score lines that are they're going to go across this way: 1 3/8, 2 inch, 4 5/8, and 5 1/4. And then on the long ends, they are going to be 5/8 of an inch. So this distance right here is 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored tool. I love, love, love this machine. Well, a tool, actually, it's not a machine, because it allows me to do all my scoring in one shot versus the trimmer, which has a scoring component to it as well, versus shifting. And if you're doing multiples of these, this is going to give you much more uniformed score lines versus being off a hair or so using your trimmer. Now your trimmer, if you're only making one, go for the trimmer. But since I'm going to be making multiples of these, this is the tool that I'm going to be using. All right, so my instructions, I'm scoring at 1 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go at 2. I'm going to go at 4 5/8, which is 1 over 4 1/2, and then 5 1/4. All right. Now I'm going to flip it sideways because I want my sides to be at 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1 over 1/2, and give it a nice scoring. Now I could count in 5 from here, but I always worry that what if I cut my piece a hair shorter or hair longer, and this side is going to be that hair longer or shorter. So I tend to flip it around like this so that I'm certain it's definitely going to be 5/8 of an inch score line on either side. So that's the way I work it. But like I said, you could do 5/8 from here, and you could do 5/8, you know, here it is 3 and 3/8. You could do it that way. But like I said, if I'm off a hair on cutting my cardstock, I just know that if I constantly, you know, flip this way, it's going to be all the same depth between these two. All right, so we can set this aside. And next we are going to, this is my bottom, so this is where my little candy bars are going to rest, and so this is going to fold up. So what I want to do is snip these pieces right here, and I'm going to go up to the crossbone right here where they cross over. These are going to be my little tabs that will get folded in on either side. And I also want to give them just a little bit of a haircut so that they don't buckle up in case, you know, I've not trimmed these super squarely. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a haircut to avoid that possible buckling. All right, set those aside. Next, I am going to bring these up. I'm going to go ahead and fold these up because the next phase, I'm going to be trimming this part so that you have this opening right here. Because right now I have sides that are all the way up and around, but I want to give my box an opening view on the sides. And so what I did is folded in my front, and I'm going to snip from the outside up to the score line right here on both sides. And you kind of have to hold it a little bit there. All right, so I have, and this is the part I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut all of this away because these two will fit in here, and then we're going to fold this over, and that'll be tucking under the ribbon. So I'm going to bring out my trimmer. And the nice thing about our trimmer is the grooves are very visible so that I know to line up my score line right in the center of that groove. Now, this is my cutting blade, and I'm going to be cutting all the way down to this point right here. Lay those down so I don't bend them. There we go. So I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to kind of eyeball it. I don't want to go too far because I can always snip off that little bitty piece right there. Right there. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, except for I'm going to do from the bottom because the flush bottom is easier to work with. And move that down and come up as close to that without going over. Like I said, I can always hand snip it off like this. Voila. Now I think I'm going to trim off just a hair more on this side. There we go. That looks much, much better. Because otherwise I was still kind of seeing the scoring, which means that I didn't cut off as much as I should have. All right, so we're done with that. Now we are ready to assemble our box. So we'll go ahead and fold in all of these pieces. Now I'm going to put my adhesive on these little tabs first, and I am choosing to do liquid glue. And I had a stamper, someone who was watching a couple weeks ago, tell me how she has started using liquid glue a lot more often now, because I use it a lot and I find it super easy to maneuver, and I love how it allows me to kind of play with the positioning of anything that I'm doing, especially if I'm using little tabs like this. I can kind of maneuver it around. All right, so we've got that. And the reason I hooked it to the back first is because I want my front to be a nice smooth edge. I want all my openings to be towards the back so that they are not visible in case, you know, it's off, trimmed a little bit. And we'll go ahead and add in our, and like I said, you don't need a whole lot. I just have a thin trail of adhesive there. All right, and then I did pretty good. I got it all lined up really good. And line this side up. There we go. Get my fingers in there. Make certain it's all snug all the way. All right, there's our box. Now I can just go ahead and fold these through. And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of give this a little like that. Looking good, getting there, getting there. All right, so now we can go ahead and add our top pieces, our decorative papers, and the beautiful foil. Now this Rococo rose has quite a bit of pink in there, but I'm certain it's probably a little bit harder to match because of, you know, this is a shiny paper and the Rococo rose is kind of a deep, it's got a country tone to it, you know, like a nice earthy tone. And so I'm certain that's harder to make, you know, when you're trying to add some little shine to it as well. So the shine probably steals away from that original color, but super pretty. Oh, I love, love, love. So now we can go ahead and attach this to our fronts. And you want to get pretty close to the edge because this one's going to be tucking in under. And I'm just going to center it across the top here. I hope everybody's been doing well, staying healthy, staying safe. Hopefully we're going to see the end of all of this craziness. I know we've been helping out my mother-in-law, who's been cooped up in her home since last March. And so we're all kind of taking shifts and helping her out with things that she needs. And so that's why I haven't been able to do my live stamping with you on Sundays, because Sunday is when I've been spending my time with her. And yeah, so she just needs that companionship, which I know not everybody gets that opportunity for, but we are very fortunate that we live so close to her. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and tuck these in. And let's see, let's go ahead and put the colored components on the outside. Look at that. All right, so now the big question, should we do the sparkle or should we go with the more blushing bride? What do you think? Should we do more of a solid color with this Sahara sand, or should we do more of the sparkle with the Sahara sand? What do you think? I don't know. I can't decide. I'm kind of going towards the blushing bride, the solid again. I mean, I like this side as well, and it really would bring out the Rococo rose foil Ellen, you're going for Blushing Bride? Okay, I'm going with you, girl. All right, so let's, how I did this, solid. Thank you, Pam. All right, I got some voters on here. All right, so how I wanted to make certain that this did not move, you know, this is tacked down so that it doesn't get caught on something. You know, if you give it to somebody, then they put it in their purse or their backpack. I wanted to make certain that it stayed down. So I'm using my tear and tape. And let's see if I can find a beginning. And I kind of lined it up like this and just cut off a chunk like that and laid it down, centering on my ribbon, just like that. Okay, and then peel it off. Gonna kind of, you want to burnish it on there because it will come off the, not super easy, but I'm not getting it to start. There we go. All right, so set that aside, and then I'm going to line it up so that it's just under, I don't want it flush with this part, so I'm gonna line it up so it's just a smidgen under that piece. Let's see how I did. Oh yeah, I think I did good. Oh, I did good. Okay, and I have the actual length of my tape will go around the edges, around the side, so that just makes it even stronger to hold on and not get caught with anything that is inside of a, like I said, a purse or a bag or whatever. All right, so now we are going to tie our ribbon. And let's see, I don't know if anybody noticed, but since this has two tones, did you notice that I was able to make my bow with solids all the way around? Yeah, let's see if I can do that again. I managed to do it with two of them, so we'll see how I do. All right, so I'm going to tie my bow. Let's see. Yeah, this needs to be the Blushing Bride up. That's how I did it. Bring that over, tuck that in, and then I'm going to twist this like that when I cinch it, and I'm going to twist this one like that. See how I did that? Cute, cute. Let's see if I got that very, let's see, I didn't get that very snug because if I'm not trying to explain this, I can tie better. So I'm not going to talk. I'm going to run through this and then twist this around, because you don't want to cinch it, so that it gives you room to twist it around. So you see how I did that? Kind of cool. But if you wanted a little variance, you wouldn't have to do all that twisting. You know, so if you wanted a little mix of both of sides of the ribbons, that's, you know, okay, you can do that. I had chosen for this particular project to make it all one-sided, and I hope that helped you determine how to do that. And it can take a practice, so don't be discouraged. Give it a couple tries and go from there. Next up, we are going to add our lips, and I've decided that we are going to make, I think we're going to go with the Rococo Rose lips, I believe. Or maybe we should do, let's see, should we do, no, maybe we'll do Blushing Bride. Blushing Bride lips. Let's try that. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm bringing in the lips, bringing in my Blushing Bride, and I've got my embossing powder here because we're just using the liquid of our ink versus we're not using Versamark. We're just going to use the ink, because if you do it fast enough, it'll stay wet long enough to stamp. Add your embossing powder and then heat. Okay, super easy. I love that opportunity. So now I'm going to warm up my heat tool, and I don't know if you can kind of tell that the powder is on there or not. It kind of dullens the color until the embossing powder has been warmed up and melted. So now you should be able to see how that's shining. I just love embossing. All right, now I'm going to hit it from behind and give it a little extra melt. And there we have our homemade lip gloss. Right? Like lip gloss. Love it. See how that shines? So I want to close my ink pad. Get that out of the way. Now, to make our life easy, we're going to bring in our punch and line that up. I just think this is so cute. Homemade lip gloss. Who knew? All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Now our sentiment. Let's see, we're gonna put this right on there. I think we're gonna do another XOXO, and then we're gonna do that in the Rococo rose as well. That will coordinate with the foil. So we'll bring in our piece of paper there and our little cardstock, and bring in our Rococo rose ink, and we have our XOXO, and we'll see. And I'm going to emboss the XOXO as well, so I'm going to bring in my embossing powder, and I'm going to be trimming this to where it's narrower, and bring that in like that. And bring in my tweezers so I don't scorch my fingertips. And we're going to emboss again. I love embossing. Can you tell? It's like, oh, it just adds something. But, you know, when you have that foil, you have to have something that coordinates with it. Can you see it? Oh, look at that dimension. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. You see it? Maybe, oh, there's a little glisten. Fun. All right, put that down. Close up my ink. And we're gonna give this a little trim that goes all the way across. You can just hand cut this. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna leave that end a little bit because it's gonna tuck under the lips. But on this one, I'm going to give it an angle cut like that. All right, look good. All right, put those aside. And now we can dress up our cover. So we're going to bring in some dimensionals. We're going to go with a couple of them because I want this thing to look good. Pull this back. I mean, one would probably be sufficient, but I love dimensionals. And set this in place right here. How fun. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of that as well. But this time I'm going to use our minis, because I think the regulars are going to be just a hair too big. So we're going to use several of them, like that. And we're going to tuck it under our lips. I'm going to trim that off just a smidgen so that it tucks under the lips a little bit more. All right, come on. There we go. Just like that. Cute, cute, cute. So we've used all 3 different foils. We have the Sahara Sand with our Rococo Rose. We have the Blushing Bride with the Blushing Bride, actually. And then we have our Rococo Rose with the Sahara Sand. And these are the 3 end results. And they all have that wonderful smelling chocolate inside them. So what do you think? So cute, 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 right? Ah, I just love. And so like I said, this won't move and get caught on anything. And there's 2 tones to the ribbon. And who doesn't love lip gloss, right? It's like, so let's go ahead and pull this down right here and say our, hopefully that you are going to be inspired to try this out. I am going to type up a mapping of that pattern. If it didn't make a whole lot of sense when I had it laid there, maybe you can get a snapshot of it. But I will try, I'm gonna draw up a template of it with all of the measurements and the score lines for you. So that way it'll be available, and I'll post it a location, a link to this live video, but it'll be later tonight when I get home, because I'll be leaving again here shortly. But I hope that you're inspired to give this a try. And this box actually fits. You can put some Ghirardelli chocolates in there, or any of those small little health bars. I've seen them come in little squares. So anything that you find that in your grocery or in your health store, you can tuck inside there and give to whoever it is that you want to pay some attention and appreciation to. So anyway, I hope this helps with your ideas giving for Valentine's Day. I thank you so much for joining me. I've missed you, and I am going to be back next week, but it'll be a Monday again. It won't be on Sunday. It'll be Monday. And until then, have a great day. Stamp those dreams. Get them out there on and use your stamps and ink and paper, and have a great day. See you later. Bye.